The jungle was loud. Big birds screamed from the trees. Bugs buzzed like tiny engines. The alien team moved slowly, scanning everything. They had never seen a place like this before. Captain Krez, the alien leader, looked serious. His skin was silver blue, and his eyes glowed yellow. He raised a hand, and the group stopped. "Scan for movement," he said. A human walked behind them. His name was Jake. He was the only human in the team. Just 1 week ago, the aliens had picked him up from Earth for a jungle survival test. Jake was not a soldier. He was just a forest guide. But the aliens thought humans were good with nature. So they brought him. Suddenly, Krez stopped walking. He frowned. "Ouch," he said. Everyone turned to him. Something had bitten his neck. It was small, fast, and gone before anyone saw it. Krez touched the spot. His silver blue skin turned red. One alien soldier pulled out a scanner. "Unknown insect. Venom detected." Krez tried to stand strong, but his leg shook. Jake saw sweat forming on the alien's head. "Is he okay?" Jake asked. "No," said the alien medic. "The venom is spreading." Krez fell to his knees. "Get the antivenom," the medic shouted. "We don't have it," said the soldier. "This bug is new," Krez gasped. His breathing became heavy. His eyes rolled back for a second. Jake stepped forward. "Wait," he said. "I've seen something like this on Earth." The soldiers looked at him. One of them growled. "This is not Earth, human." Jake opened his small backpack. Inside was his lunch. A piece of bread, some dry meat, and an onion. He pulled it out. The soldiers stared. "An onion?" One said. "Are you trying to cook him?" Jake ignored the joke. He quickly cut the onion in half using a small knife. Then he pressed the wet side on the bite. The strong smell filled the air. Everyone waited. Krez was still breathing hard, but after a minute, his face stopped sweating. The red on his neck faded just a little. The medic scanned again. The venom level, it's slowing down. Jake kept pressing the onion. "It's not a cure," Jake said, "but it draws out poison. Old trick. My grandfather taught me." The soldiers were silent now. They watched Jake with new eyes. Another minute passed. Krez opened his eyes slowly. "Human?" he said weakly. Jake nodded. "Still here. You help me?" "Just used what I had." Krez looked at the onion, then at the soldiers. "He saved my life," he said. One of the soldiers bowed his head slightly. The medic spoke again. "We need to carry the captain to safety." Krez tried to speak again. "No, we keep moving." "You need rest," said Jake. Krez smiled. "Just a little." "Not yet. Mission first." Jake packed the rest of the onion in a cloth. "We might need this again." The soldiers started moving. But now, they didn't walk ahead of Jake. They walked beside him. As the team moved deeper into the jungle, no one noticed the tiny red bug crawling on the back of another soldier's neck. The jungle path was narrow now. Big trees stood close, like guards. The air felt thicker, hot, wet. Every step made a squish sound on the muddy floor. Jake looked around carefully. He held a small stick to push away leaves and vines. The soldiers followed close behind. Captain Krez was walking slowly, still weak, but alive. Suddenly, someone shouted, "Ah!" It was Zarn, one of the alien soldiers. He grabbed his neck and fell. Jake ran to him. "Another bite?" he asked. The medic scanned Zarn. "Yes, same venom, same bug. But this time, the bite looked worse. It was darker, more swollen." Jake opened his cloth again, but the onion was nearly dried out now. "I need fresh juice," he said. He looked around. Trees, moss, vines, but no onions. "What do we do?" the medic asked. Jake thought fast. He remembered something. "That plant," he said, pointing at a wild green bush. Smells like onion. Might work. He took a leaf, crushed it between his fingers, and sniffed. Strong. Sharp. Close enough. Jake quickly smashed more leaves and pressed them on the wound. Zarm groaned but didn't scream. After a minute, his breathing slowed. The blackness on the skin faded a bit. Venom is slowing again, the medic said. Krez looked at Jake. You have knowledge, he said. Jake shrugged. Just using what Earth taught me. They rested. For 10 minutes. Then something strange happened. The jungle became quiet. Too quiet. No bird sounds. No bug sounds. Jake froze. This isn't good, he whispered. One of the soldiers pulled out his scanner. Movement all around us. From the bushes, red eyes blinked. First 1 pair, then 5, then 20. Small creatures stepped out. Like bugs, but walking on 2 legs. Their bodies were covered in hard shells, and their hands held sharp sticks. Jungle crawlers. Krez sighed. They live in hives. We are in their land. They don't like visitors? Jake asked. No, Krez said. And they attack in groups. The crawlers hissed loudly. More came out from the trees. The team formed a circle. Weapons. Ready, said the soldier. Wait, Jake said. Let me try something. He pulled out the rest of his food. A piece of dried meat. Some crackers. He stepped forward slowly. Hands up. The crawlers hissed louder. Some raised their weapons. Jake placed the food on the ground and backed away. The lead crawler stepped forward. It sniffed the air. Then it took the food. It made a sound. Click, click, click. Then silence. The crawlers stood still. Then they turned and left. All of them. The jungle went quiet again. The soldiers stared at Jake. You gave them food, one said. Jake nodded. Sometimes it's better than fighting. Krez smiled. We underestimated humans. Jake helped Zarn stand up. Let's keep moving before they come back. But as they moved ahead, deeper into the jungle, no one saw the thick green fog rising from the forest floor. Silent, spreading, hiding something far worse than crawlers. Thick green fog crawled across the jungle floor like a living thing. It wrapped around trees, slipped over roots, and reached the alien team's boots. Jake stopped. Smell that? He said. Krez nodded. Toxic, not natural. The medic scanned the air. Warning, poison levels rising. Breathing this too long. Dangerous. The fog got thicker. Visibility dropped. It was hard to see more than a few steps ahead. One of the soldiers coughed. We need masks. They all put on breathing gear except Jake. I don't have one, he said. Krez frowned. Human lungs may not survive this. Jake didn't panic. Give me cloth. He took a piece of fabric, dipped it in water, and tied it over his nose and mouth. This helps a little. They kept moving slowly, step by step. Suddenly, a loud crack echoed. The ground under them shifted. Trap! Shouted one soldier. The floor gave way. Jake and 2 soldiers fell into a pit 10 feet deep, filled with strange glowing plants and roots. Jake hit the ground hard but rolled to avoid injury. The others were less lucky. One broke his leg. Jake crawled over. Don't move. I'll check it. Above them, Krez looked down. Rope! Lower rope! Another soldier threw down a long cord. Jake tied it to the injured soldier. Pull him first. The team above pulled. It was slow. The rope creaked. But they got him up. Jake was next. As he grabbed the rope, something slithered in the corner of the pit. He froze. It was long, green, scaled, with 6 legs and glowing red eyes. A jungle predator. It hissed, then leaped. Jake jumped to the rope and yelled, Pull now! The soldiers yanked hard. The beast snapped its jaws just inches below Jake's boots as he shot upward. The team pulled him out just in time. Jake lay on the ground, breathing hard. That thing was hungry. Krez helped him stand. You have fast reflexes, human. Fear makes you faster, Jake joked. The team moved again, this time more careful. The fog began to clear. They reached a small hill. On top stood a large black stone with ancient carvings. Krez touched the stone. This is it, he said. Jungle core. The energy point. Jake looked around. Why did we come here again? To study, Krez said. This stone powers life in this jungle. If it dies, the jungle dies. Our scanners say it's changing. We needed to see why. Jake nodded. Makes sense. So what now? Krez looked at the carvings again. Something is wrong. Just then, the ground shook. Boom. A deep sound came from below. Boom. The team looked at each other. From under the stone. Cracks appeared. And then, a roar. The stone split open and a massive eye stared up at them. From beneath the earth, the stone split wider. Dust flew into the air. And then, the ground moved. A huge creature rose from under the earth. It was like a mix of snake, insect, and machine. Its skin was dark and cracked like old rock, but its giant eye glowed with blue light. Everyone froze. No one spoke. Even the jungle was silent. What is that? Jake asked, eyes wide. Krez whispered, It's a guardian. The creature's long neck stretched high into the trees. It looked at the team, then opened its mouth and let out a deep, thunderous growl. It's waking up because of us. One soldier shouted. The guardian moved forward. Back away, Krez ordered, but the ground cracked again. A glowing energy pulsed from the hole where the stone had stood. Vines shot out fast, alive. One vine wrapped around the soldier's leg and pulled him in. No, shouted another. The guardian hissed louder. It was protecting the core. Jake's mind raced. He wasn't a fighter. He didn't have a gun. But he saw something others didn't. Single quotes. The guardian wasn't attacking. It was. Warning, wait, Jake yelled. Don't shoot. Too late. A soldier fired. The shot hit the guardian's side. It screamed, loud enough to shake the leaves off trees. Vines exploded from the ground. One hit Krez and threw him back. Another slammed Jake against a tree. His head spun. He blinked and saw the guardian's eye staring straight at him. But instead of anger, it looked sad. Jake's breath slowed. The air felt heavy. Suddenly, the guardian's blue eye dimmed. The vines froze. Then silence. The creature slowly lowered its head. It rested near the cracked earth. Jake stood up, weak but thinking. I don't think it wanted to hurt us, he said. Krez groaned from the ground. Why did it stop? Jake pointed. The carvings. Maybe they're not just symbols. They could be instructions. Jake walked carefully to the broken stone. He touched one of the marks. A soft glow appeared. It spread like water over the surface. Suddenly, a voice filled the air. Not loud. Not angry. It spoke in a soft, alien tone. The translator buzzed. This jungle is alive. The core must remain untouched. The guardian is the shield. Do not take, only protect. Everyone listened. Jake looked at Krez. Your scans. Were they hurting the core? The medic checked his tablet. Yes, our energy tools triggered defense. Krez stood up slowly. We caused this. Jake stepped closer to the guardian. It didn't move. He placed his hand near its face. Sorry, he whispered. The guardian blinked slowly. Jake turned to the team. If we don't leave it alone, the jungle will fight back. Next time, we might not walk away. Krez nodded. End the mission. Shut down the scan. The soldiers powered off their tools. The vines began to shrink back into the earth. The cracks closed slowly. The jungle sighed. The guardian sank back under the stone. Its blue eye was the last thing to disappear. and then peace. But as they packed up their gear, Jake's scanner beeped once, just once, and showed a symbol, one no one had seen before. It looked like a map dot, and it was pointing deeper into the jungle. Jake stared at the scanner. The symbol pulsed gently, a circle with sharp lines, like a sun or compass. What is that? Asked Krez. Jake tilted the device. I don't know. It just showed up after the Guardian went underground. Looks like a map marker? The medic checked his screen. Nothing on my system. Your scanner must have picked up something special. Jake narrowed his eyes. It's leading somewhere. About 2 kilometers northeast. Krez paused. We were ordered to study the jungle core only. This is outside the mission. Jake looked at him. But if this is connected, maybe we were meant to find it. The Guardian didn't hurt us. It showed us something. The team stood silent. Finally, Krez nodded. We follow it. Carefully, they moved again. The jungle felt different now. Quieter. Almost like it was watching. Birds chirped softly again. The green fog was gone. Even the bugs seemed calmer. As they followed the signal, strange things began to appear. First, glowing stones lined the path. Then vines shaped like symbols. Jake touched one. It was warm, alive. This jungle is intelligent, he whispered. After an hour, they reached a wide clearing. In the center stood a massive tree. Unlike the others, this one had silver bark and leaves that shimmered like stars. Whoa, said Jake. That's not normal. The scanner beeped louder. This was the place. Krez stepped closer, then stopped. Look, a shape moved near the tree. A figure. It looked alien, but old. Thin, tall, with glowing marks on its skin. Its eyes were white, and it held a long staff made of bone and light. The soldiers raised their weapons. Jake held up his hands. Wait, don't shoot. Let me try. He stepped forward, heart pounding. The figure looked at him. Then it spoke. With words. But into Jake's mind, human, you are not meant to come. Yet you are here. Jake blinked. Did you guys hear that? The soldiers shook their heads. No, Krez said. Just you. The figure continued speaking inside Jake's head. You carry balance. Curiosity without greed. That is rare. The jungle listens to you. Jake took a step closer. What is this place? The heart tree. The jungle lives through it. When the core is threatened, the Guardian awakens. But the Guardian is tired, dying. A new protector is needed. Jake's heart raced. Protector? Me? The figure tilted its head. Not protector. Bridge. Between your kind and this world. You understand both. Behind him, Krez said, What is it saying? Jake turned slowly. They want peace. But the Guardian is fading. They want someone who listens, not someone who takes. The figure held out its staff. It glowed brighter. Jake reached out and touched it. A wave of heat and light rushed through his body. Memories filled his mind. Strange creatures. The jungle's birth. The Guardians. Pain. The old wars. The silence after then calm. Jake opened his eyes. The figure was gone, but the tree still glowed. And in Jake's hand was a small stone shaped like a seed. Krez looked at him. What just happened? Jake stared at the seed. They gave us a gift, but it's not for power. It's for protection. As the team turned to leave, none of them noticed the tiny crack forming on the silver tree's trunk or the dark liquid starting to drip from within. The jungle was calm as the team walked away from the glowing silver tree. But Jake kept looking back. Something didn't feel right. He still held the seed, the strange glowing stone. It felt warm, like it was alive. But now, it pulsed faster in his hand. Back at the tree, a crack slowly widened down its silver trunk. A thick black liquid oozed out. It hissed when it touched the ground. Jake suddenly stopped walking. He turned. Sharply. Something's wrong. Krez looked at him. What do you mean? Jake held up the seed. It's beating faster. Like it's scared. The medic scanned it. Strange. Strong energy spike inside. Then boom. A blast echoed through the jungle. The team turned around. Smoke rose above the trees. It came from the hard tree. They ran back. When they reached the clearing, the tree was breaking. The bark had split. The black liquid was everywhere. The glowing leaves had turned dull. Krez stepped forward, shocked. What happened? A new figure stood near the tree, but it was not like the one before. This one was bigger, darker. Its eyes were red, and it carried no staff, only claws. Jake whispered, "That's not a guardian." The creature growled, "You took the seed." Jake felt the voice in his head, but this one was cold, angry. That seed was mine. The guardian was weak. I was hidden, waiting. Jake remembered the voice from the silver figure. It had said the jungle needed a protector. This thing was not it. You're a parasite, Jake said. The creature's eyes flared. I am balance. You are the disease. Suddenly, it charged. Team fired, but the creature moved fast. It leapt into the trees and vanished. Then the vines turned against them again. Sharp. Fast. Wild. One wrapped around Krez's leg. Another knocked down a soldier. Jake grabbed a branch and hit the vine holding. Krez. The seed in his hand glowed brighter, then released a wave of energy. The vines froze. The black liquid hissed again and pulled back into the tree. The parasite screamed in rage. The seed listens to you? Impossible. Jake stepped forward. I don't want to fight, but I will protect this place. The creature growled louder. Then you will die with it. Krez stood beside Jake. No, he is not alone. The soldiers took formation. They surrounded Jake. The parasite growled again, but it did not attack. It disappeared into the jungle. Jake looked at the seed. It was now cold. The glow gone. But when Jake looked down at his palm, a new mark had formed, glowing faintly, shaped like a root. And deep beneath the earth, something ancient began to stir. The sky turned dark. Not from clouds, but from something rising below. The ground shook. Roots cracked open. Trees bent. And from deep within the jungle floor, a huge shape began to raise. A second guardian. But this one was different. It had no eyes, no glow. Its body was twisted, half vine, half metal. It looked like a nightmare. Jake stared in silence. That's not the jungle. That's the infection. The parasite had awakened it. Krez raised his weapon. How do we stop this? Jake looked at the seed in his hand. It no longer glowed, but the root-shaped mark on his palm still pulsed faintly. He closed his eyes, focused. He didn't hear words, but he felt something. A memory. His grandfather's voice. Nature gives, nature heals, but only if you listen. Jake opened his eyes. Everyone back away. I need to do this alone. Krez hesitated. Jake, I'm not the strongest here, Jake said. But I think I was chosen for a reason. He walked forward, slowly, toward the twisted guardian. The beast roared. The jungle trembled. Jake held up the seed and shouted, I'm not here to fight. The parasite's voice echoed. You are weak. A joke of a species. Jake stood his ground. Maybe, but I protect what matters. The ground split again. The twisted guardian charged. Jake pressed the seed against his chest. The mark on his hand glowed brighter, blinding light. Uff. Shockwave burst from his body. The parasite screamed. The vine stopped. The guardian froze. Then, the jungle answered. From the trees, light spread. From the roots, sound hummed. The jungle itself came alive. Glowing vines wrapped the twisted guardian, not to destroy, but to pull the infection out. Piece by piece, the metal vines broke away. The black poison dripped out and burned to ash. The parasite shrieked. No. I waited centuries. Jake held firm. Then, maybe you should have learned patience. The last of the black liquid melted into the soil. The forest grew still. The twisted guardian collapsed, then faded into roots and flowers. Jake fell to his knees. Exhausted, Krez ran over and helped him up. You did it, he said. No, Jake replied softly. The jungle did. I just listened. The silver tree began to glow again. Its bark healed. New leaves bloomed. And the seed in Jake's hand turned into dust floating gently into the wind. 1 week later, back on the alien ship, Jake stood in front of a large window, staring at the stars. Krez walked in. There's talk of giving you a rank. Jungle ambassador. Jake laughed. I'll settle for a guy with a backpack and an onion. Krez smiled. You saved us. Twice. Jake looked at his hand. The root-shaped mark was still there, glowing faintly. Let's just make sure we never forget what that jungle taught. The U.S. and far away, deep beneath the trees, the jungle whispered his name, forever remembering the human who didn't conquer, but cared.